Hey everyone, and welcome to our very first episode at Seva Transformation Academy. Our channel is all about the transformation journey, where anyone that's on this kind of a path can come and get the help and support they need. So today's speaker or guest is Tanu. And Tanu is my personal handstand coach. And he's going to share his pearls of wisdom and some things about his journey to help us better understand what it's like from his point of view. Welcome, Tanu. How are you?
Thank you for having me, Priya. I'm great, thank you. It's a
Great to
beautiful
have you.
day.
Thank you. Yes, Tanu. And Tanu is actually based in India at the moment. How are things going there? You're in Haryana, right?
Yeah, I born and brought up in Kashmir city. It's in Haryana, a small city, and I've been now in my city for last almost 3 4 months. Technically, after my dad passed away, so I'm looking after my mom and my grandparents. So yeah, it's the first time I'm spending that long time in my city after 12 years. Often I just spend 1 or 2 weeks and I just go and start traveling. So it's good. I'm enjoying. Yeah, I can't complain.
Nice. Well, without further ado, I will keep it to our time that we had originally booked. Um, Basically, this chat is all about helping people that are choosing yoga as one of the tools to transform on their journey, as have I. As I started working with you a couple of months ago, one of my personal goals were to be able to do a handstand. And obviously, we know that a handstand is merely pose, a thing that we can do only after going through a journey of developing the right skills, the right awareness, and it's more than just going upside down. So, and I think that's it's a really transformative journey in itself, just to take on that challenge and goal. So you've been you've played a very big role in that transformation that I've experienced in the last couple of months, and that's why I thought I'd invite you to pick your brains and ask you some questions about your background and things like that. So if I can I ask you, what's your yoga story, if you can share?
Uh, very good question. I would like to. I will try my best to make it a long story short. Technically, I had a breakup 9 years ago, and I was in depression for a year, and that experience taught me a lot. You know, I was happy in my bubble, in my own world, good, great girlfriend, sport car, good salary, everything was great. But when I had a breakup, I realized there's something else what I'm missing. So I start questioning myself why I'm still not happy, why I'm still suffering, why I'm still can't be fulfill myself. And I'm talking about 9 years ago. So that time I, instead of drinking and focusing on negative pattern of fulfilling my pleasure or fulfilling myself, I asked the question and I went to one of the ashram in Melbourne. And then that journey really started from there, where I was going every weekend and people were doing chanting, meditation, and they were one kind of like guru. And he told me, just keep coming here, don't be depressed, you will meet someone someday, someone, it's okay, it's part of life. Okay. So from that journey, that taught me a lot. And 1 year depression, and at the same time jobless. At the same time, my visa expiring. I have a 3 months to leave Australia country and come back to India. So everything was happening at the same time. Like not just one problem. Like everything just come and my lower back injury, depression from there, and I didn't know what to do. And I just start doing, just watching my breath. Very simple as that, and just observing my breath and sitting in the morning half an hour, and then focusing my breath and do pranayama and meditation. And then nothing. I didn't start my asana practice by the time I was going to gym and kind of big gym freak, you can say. And then I came to know about Osho after starting my meditation or watching my breath after 3 4 months. I came to know Osho. And when I started listening Osho, I connect with him. I knew whatever he's saying, I'm going through this overthinking, this separation, this the suffering, the depression, and the questioning, and the self-inquiring, and everything. I was going at the same time, whatever he was saying. And after that, I learned about Osho. I read about Osho. I watched his YouTube video. I listening audio. I just drank him for 1 year, day and night. And then I can say my actual sadhana, my actual dhamma, my self inquiry start from the Osho lectures. And then I promised to myself, no matter what will happen in my life. 9 years ago, I still remember I was fixing the car, and I was in the car, and I was just thinking, Tanu, no matter what will happen in your life, if either you are jobless, or you have a job, or even you are going to break up, or you're homeless, no matter what, you will not leave your practice for a single day, and you will keep continuing your dhamma, your practice, no matter what will happen. And it's been a 9 years, and it's a long journey, so many experience. And so yeah, that journey starts from that experience, lead me to more going deeper for self-inquiring and be a better person. And how can I be have peace with myself, with my thoughts, with my emotions. Yeah. So technically journey starts from my breakup when I was in a depression for a year. Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Well, it sounds like you got on your personal transformation journey back then. I Yeah, I mean, the transformation goals can be several, can't it? Like it can look like I just want to get out of depression. I just want to stop feeling really tired all the time, or I just want to have more energy and clarity. There can be so many goals that we want to uh, work towards, and ultimately it's all about becoming the better version, isn't it? It's quite the common denominator is that, yeah, we are all working towards becoming a better version of ourselves from where we are sitting. So that sounds pretty much yeah, sounds pretty much similar to pretty much a lot of people that might be listening, as well as myself. uh, we get hit with catastrophes for a reason, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely true. Yeah. Totally agree with
Yeah.
it.
I love Osho. He gives good truth smacks.
He's a crazy, but a lot of people they have misunderstanding towards him. But if you practice meditation and listen him at the same time, then it makes sense in the depth. But if you just listen him as on intellectual level and just don't do practice in a practical, you will be misunderstanding. You'll have a different idea. No, he's just a random guy talking about all the shit. So if you're listening him, I would suggest practice at the same time, and then you can understand from different point of view, the different perspective ways. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's not for the common man who doesn't meditate or doesn't look at the world broadly. Or yeah, I totally resonate with that. Yeah, so I'll come back to your journey again. The one of the reasons why I reached out to you eventually after following you for a while on Instagram was that I noticed that you were doing crazy yoga poses and and you were doing handstands really well. And of course, like I also sensed that you were very friendly kind of a person. So I thought when I felt like my time was right, I just thought, okay, I'm going to reach out to Tanu and see what he says if he's available for these private sessions, which I'm really grateful for now that I did that. And everything flowed really nicely. So that was good too. Um, so, having watched your journey, I see that you're not just practicing yoga, but you're doing other activities too to keep fit. So, can you just share with us what other activities or fitness activities you do, and how you find yoga is different? Or, yeah, what's your opinion about combining yoga, or how it's different for you with other things that you do?
Wow, it's a great question, and lot of too I can share a lot because I've been practicing for almost I think last 5 years yoga asana practice and exploring other activities for last 3 years. So technically, if you look at human being and you ask them why are you here? Are you here just raising the family, doing the job 9 to 5, and living in your bubble, comfort zone, and die one day without exploring? When I say explore, it can be anything, not only fitness, it can be different section, business, parenting, yoga, athlete, any sport, it can be anything. So when I came into, so my background is athlete. Since 16 years old, I've been into sport, and so I had that feeling, not just I will be satisfied if I practice yoga. Of course, yoga it helped me a lot to find my roots, to make me so grounded, makes me so balanced. No matter what other activity I'm doing, I'm so grounded. So you said I do for fitness. I will not say I do for fitness. Technically, of course, if you do yoga, you can be fit, no doubt. If you do for a walk or running, you can fit. But why I do other activities to coming out of my comfort zone, to connect with the other practice where I can explore from the different point of view. I can sense that we have a this kind of adapting things. If we, for example, I did my teacher training course 2017, and after I drove the idea learning advanced practice for a year, I just did basic asana practice for a year because that time I knew that I'm not well grounded, I'm not well balanced. I need something basic. So for basic, if I choose another sport, running, make me more um, heat. It make me more like the domestic approach, like more pushing myself, more like just pushing on the physical level without having my grounded, my balance in life. So I practiced for a year, just the basic asana. Then it made my sense. No matter what other activity I do, the yoga asana is my base. I have to come back to my practice of yoga, my asana practice. And the real game changer, what happened in life, I was stuck in a mountain, Mount Everest, in glacier for 24 hours. And long and short story, I survived there in -3 temperature without food, without water. And then that something happened there where I observed we human beings are capable of anything, whatever. Even if I want to imagine, I want to run for 100 kilometers. Of course, it will take time when practice, but in our deeper into our mind, in our being, we are capable of doing things. And how human label themselves, that's only I can do. That's it. That's me. They limit themselves. So afterward, I start exploring another activity. For example, I handled plank last year for 2 hours, and I never thought I will able to do. And I did a half marathon in Himalayas in Rishikesh in 2 hours. And after exploring those activities, it clicked something within me that we are human beings. It's more than just physical and mental limit, which we create from the society, from our education, from our parents. That's only you can do. That's this is your limit. That's it. But when I start breaking those limits and challenging myself and running every week 10 kilometer, 15 kilometer, doing planks and doing all this crazy stuff, but still I'm grounded, it something was happening within me that I was tapping something great than my physical, mental, and emotional limit. And if you can connect that spirit within yourself, that strength, it's amazing feeling. And then it's linked to your life. No matter what's happening in your life, so many challenges, ups and downs, you find your balance. You don't care what's happening. You are in a smooth walk because of you coming out of comfort zone through those practices. You know. And I still remember yesterday I ran 12 kilometers, and yesterday I was feeling weak and I couldn't run myself. My body was prepared, but mentally I was weak, emotionally I was weak. And then it tapped something, the new experience, how the body, mind, and emotion they are so linked. Like how if you have separate from your emotions, still if you are okay as a physical mental well-being, but still you are missing something to tap something deeper within you. If you're mentally okay but physical not okay, still you're going through this physical suffering, the physical pain. So what I observe is a unity. It's like yoga means unity. It's a balance. And how can you bring this balance? Coming out of your comfort zone. And some people they have a misunderstanding from my practice, but my practice is to polishing my yoga practice. End of the day, whatever I'm doing is I'm experiencing on my mat, how grounded I am, how strong I am, how balanced I am. So technically, yeah, I run, I start doing now calisthenics. Now I do boxing, I do body weight training, and yeah, I don't lift weight. I don't go to gym because I don't like anymore lifting weight. It doesn't make any sense to me. But animal movement, body movement, all this stuff, I got opportunity to tap something else which I can't do in yoga. Yeah, I hope it makes sense.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So I guess what I'm hearing is like yoga helps you tap into that awareness of something greater than the body, mind, emotion trifecta. And then you go and stretch those limits from that awareness place instead of being a result of the body, mind, emotion trifecta, which is always attached to us. But then other activities like animal flow and anything else that you're doing that's a little bit more demanding, you really get to see yourself clearly and work with your own personal limits. Yeah.
But one more thing, people they have so much attachment to this asana practice. This is the everything. Of course, this is part of yoga, but it's not yoga itself. People need to understand. This is just one aspect where you can explore. And especially Ashtangi people nowadays, if you research, they going through a lot of injuries. What I spoke before, it was more about my journey. But if you look at as a practical or relate to other people, this is more. For example, if people they're doing Ashtanga every time, they end up with injury because they're putting so much stress on their joint and doing advanced practice every day. So from my experience, you don't need to do advanced practice every day. You can just do 2 times in a week and you can invite another practice to strengthening, to support your yoga practice. That's why through exploring, it can be keen stretch, it can be mobility or anything to explore different point of view. It realized me we don't need to do asana practice every day. We can explore something else. But still, if you are balanced, if you have a great understanding of your breath, it can become your yoga practice. Anything, for example, running. Running can become your meditation. The body movement, it can become a flow of prana, so it depends how you involve with those practice and what is your intention and purpose.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and that comes with, developing a yoga practice as well. I guess many people start, and there's so many entry points to the actual program of yoga, isn't it? So yoga, for those that are completely new to the discipline, it's actually an eightfold practice, and many, it's not really someone that's just seeing yoga for the first time might understand, because even some meditators don't understand how important asana practice is to get better at meditation. So it goes hand in hand. But I guess, like, yeah, I agree with you on that, that, asana practice is just like tip of the iceberg. Um, with so much else going on, that with so much else that everything else can offer, like walking, running, power walking, weightlifting, not, whatever the other activity is, can also be a part of the movement practice that yoga says to do. The entire program of yoga says to keep your body fit and aligned, and improve your posture, so that the energies can keep flowing, so that you can tap into your awareness mind and stay really conscious of the choices you're making in your lifestyle, with yourself, with others, and it goes on and on. I mean, it's a lifestyle. So I completely agree with you that asana practice, I think there's an obsession out there to do really advanced practice, as you call it, or hardcore practice, power, power, power every day, not understanding that even yoga postures are quite a demand on our joints and nerves and tendons. And they also need supporting, which is what I'm doing with you, so building building a handstand practice requires doing drills to actually strengthen and bring awareness to muscles and movements that we don't normally do in a typical yoga asana practice. So, and I mean, if yeah, traditionally you wouldn't say that's yoga practice, but yoga doesn't say, the program of yoga doesn't say that you're not supposed to do them either, because yoga is not anti anything. It's not really anti anything. It's just saying stay aware. Stay aware of yourself, do things consciously, don't hurt yourself. And again and then again, we get so many arguments with, oh, but I should practice my series, I should practice my this asana, set of asanas. There's no shoulds really when it comes to the body. Yeah.
But if you look at the human being, this is all identity. Even the asana practice as a is identity. But if you look at human beings, we are in deep sleep. When I say deep sleep, means in unconscious way, we forget our true power, the true strength, and we are living life because that's the way we learn to live life. That's the way we have seen our parents, our grandparents, our grandparents and flowing. So when you ask from the first time what are you practice is, so even including me, when I push myself every time, that experience, that conscious experience is tapped something within me where I know about myself bit more, about my weakness, about my strength. And as being a teacher, and delivering this gift, whatever I'm receiving or I'm experiencing, people they can feel it. For example, you're doing 2 months handstand, and I was very surprised when you could stay for 15 seconds. I was very surprised. So how I push myself in a balanced way, not I'm torching myself or I have to, and I can see the great result. How people they are growing in their practice, in their life, how they have a better connection with themselves, with their family, with their leadership. So I think it's all about exploration without attaching to some putting label or something. We must open ourselves to explore, but it depends how you explore and what are your intention as I said.
Yes, yes. Amen to that. Yeah, I mean, then we go into injuries. I learned so much from in the last 2 months about injuries, minor injury that I had with my wrist. Um, and I've had a couple of other injuries in my yoga journey as well, from different occasions. Uh, Luckily, nothing has torn so bad that I couldn't actually do stuff, but they've definitely been an opportunity for me to learn about how else is it possible to do this, and what actually do I need to do now, to keep building on the strength that I'm trying to build. Like, for example, like, handstands are all about hands and wrists, and obviously the first thing to have a little injury in your wrist, you might get scared and you go, oh, that's it, handstands aren't for me, or oh, I'll just stay off it. Actually, my it took me down a rabbit hole of like looking into what it is, the anatomy, then feeling my wrist and arm, and still continuing the work, maybe not putting too much pressure on it, but just still keeping in touch with that part of my body and not completely stopping, was the best thing I could have done. So, like, the transformation journey it doesn't have to stop just because we hit a roadblock of some kind, so that's one of my takeaways through injuries. So I guess my question for you is, speaking of injuries that can happen to us adults, especially, we're all adult practitioners. What do you think is important when we want to keep advancing or keep increasing intensity? Um, Not necessarily, yeah. Is it advancement, or yeah, keeping on in increasing intensity?
Firstly, we need to understand why we go to injury. Because if we want to strengthen some specific area, we need to understand how can we avoid, how can we have a safe practice, and how can we keep growing without facing the injuries. So first thing, why we go injury, competitive competition from the other person, or looking at the Instagram picture, or looking at the Instagram, oh my god, look at this guy, oh look at this girl, wow, how advanced they are. So once we look at from our eyes, we want to experience in our body, we want to do the advanced practice, but we don't know what is the other person's journey, how much practice they have done, how much study they have done. Number one, we had an injury for competing from a different person. Number two, the lack of knowledge, education. For example, some teachers, they are great, they are teaching, but the thing is, are they are practicing? Are they are doing practical things on their mat, or they are just teaching because they have to teach yoga because everybody's teaching nowadays, and lack of education, lack of knowledge. They don't spend enough time for warm up. They don't have enough knowledge for specific areas to have a safe practice. For example, back bending. A lot of people they go through injuries in back bending, in handstand, the wrist injury. Why? They want to achieve to the goal as soon as possible. They can do it. but they don't want to invest to warming up well enough to preparing themselves to reach that level. Stability is very, very, very important to away from the injury. If you notice my practice, I like to stay in one asana or challenge myself for a while. So what happens once you warm up, it really, really makes you ready or prepare yourself to go deeper practice. Back bending, I say warm up at least for 20 minutes in back bending. In handstand, warm up at least 15 minutes, especially the wrist. So number two is make sure you're learning from it has to be he or she has to be professional teacher. And number three, warm up very well, very, very well. Number four, you have to what they say, for example, if I do back bending, or how do you recover? What kind of tools you use for recovery? Do you take a rest? Do you do cupping therapy? Do you do therapy? What you do? What I do is I do ice therapy. Yes, I do cupping therapy. I do deep massage. I do have a well rest. I look after my diet. Diet is very, 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 very important if you want to recover and stay from injury. Some people they don't agree. First, once you recover, once your body heal, then you feel different. Yeah. And the seventh thing is don't be in rush to achieve any advanced practice. Don't be in rush. It's a long journey. You know how long it takes time our joint to completely strengthen? It takes almost 10 years. And to understand one asana, it takes 6 years. And we think if I learn from YouTube, if I'm going practicing for 1 year or 2 years, I'm a great yogi. I can do so many things. But no, 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 always come back to the basic, always come back to the beginner series, the basic asana, that basic asana to make you grounded and and not having injury in your practice prepare you. And your question, how can you preparing yourself to welcoming other practice? For example, if I say I spend a lot of time understanding my joints, my ligaments and tendons. For example, 2 3 days I just working on them. For example, if I have to do advanced handstand practice for 2 hours, so what I do is for 2 days I do three things. I focus on strength, I focus on stability, I focus on mobility. Because flexibility is more about muscles, mobility to more about ligament and joint, and stability to more about stable, balance, grounding. So I work for 2 days just working on those areas from the different drills, understanding, not doing any advanced practice. I leave it beside. I'm not going to do any advanced practice. I just focus on my warming up to preparing myself for advanced practice. After spending 2 days, third day, I push myself. I push myself on my limit, beyond my limit, because I know I prepare myself enough to warm up, educate myself. If I don't understand something, I study, I understand, I study again till I understand, and then I put into the practical. So that way you can strengthening specific area or specific asana or specific practice. To investment, to take your time, to warm up, to recovery as soon as possible. From this point of view, I think that helped me. I don't know the people, but this is my experience, how I approach towards my practice.
Yeah, that sounds like sound advice. I guess one more thing I could add to that is that not all our bodies are made the same. We have different healing time or recovery time. And just because our friends are getting up and going every day doesn't mean that we should too. It's just a bit of, self care to stay in touch with how much time do I need to actually feel warm enough to go into these intense practices, or how much time do I need to recover. And recovery doesn't have to look like you are resting, having rest days. You can always do other exercises like Tanu mentioned, that there are mobility exercises, flexibility exercises, or you can take a yin class or a restorative
Pranayama.
class, a restorative class, or a gentle hatha class, anything that will support your mind, body, and energy, that will still keep you going. Just like I was speaking about the injury, like I didn't just lay off my wrist completely. I was doing the icing, I was doing the massage, I was doing the resting, but I still did planks, I still did my wrist exercises, not to the exact repetition that we started off with, but I still do them and I'm
A
still
little
able
bit
to do.
slow down.
Yeah, I mean the drills and that intensity I'm now aware of, that I'm not, I can't rush into that intensity for myself straight away. So I'll keep working towards that level of intensity. But that's me, that's my personal journey. And honestly, from what I'm feeling is that, oh my God, the pain is gone now with the arm and the hand. And actually, there are new muscles speaking, and there's more strength and stability. And I had a very silly thought the other day. I'm like, am I going to have to do that with my left hand too? I'm like, no, Supriya, no. You do not manifest another injury. Grow new
Nah,
muscles.
that's the beauty is free, as you said, yin yoga, restorative, hatha, gentle. So this is the thing. People they think if I just do yang practice, it will lead me to the advanced asana, advanced practice. But it's totally it's a wrong point of view. People they think depend it's the balance yin and yang, the ida and pingala. If we need to find balance, when I say people I do gym practice once a week, the people they look at it in a weird way, who those who don't understand. And I said, no guys, yin yoga is a game changer one or twice in a week. It's a really, because as I said, people that doesn't have uh, proper information, that they have a lack of knowledge, that if you work on the deeper tissue muscle, which is the meridian points, the myofascial muscles, which is, don't worry about going anatomy, but if you work on those area, it's a game changer. I
And it's
try to make
supporting.
people understand. Yeah, it's sporting, and
Yes, it's a
that
supportive journey.
that
Yeah.
that help you not to have injuries. That
Yes.
balance between the yin and yang. And yeah, people sometimes people maybe they don't want to listen, or they have a this belief system. This is the right way. That's it. But as a teacher, it's my duty, it's my responsibility to have a safe practice. And I've been teaching for last 3 years. Touch wood, nobody injured in my class. Touch wood, nobody injured in last 3 years in my class. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. So I think the key message here is, if we want to increase intensity, it's at the root of everything. Get in touch with your own um, sensitivities and support your journey to increase intensity. And just like, I like to ask myself, why do I want to increase the intensity? What is my actual goal? And then that puts me in touch with, oh, okay, well, why do I want to do a handstand? What's that going to do for me? It's going to give me more self confidence, being able to balance on my hands. But self to me means my body, mind, spirit. So, really getting clear about my goal and why, and the reason why I want to achieve this goal is really, really the map, and the goal, and the light on the path to transforming, because
It's
we
kind
can
of
get obsessed.
it's kind of journey. You're
Yes.
going through this journey and you're
Yeah.
exploring new path. You're meeting new people, and you exploring your weakness, you exploring your strength. And wow, every time you say wow, as you said, my injury has healed, and I'm observing now new muscles are engaging. Wow, what is this? Imagine how many people, everyone doesn't have to go through this path. It can be a different path, as I mentioned, I spoke to you, everyone can stretch themselves on physical level, on mental level, and emotional level, and spiritual level. Depend how they connect with them. Nobody has to do asana practice. Some people they can be very intellectual and they become so wise. It doesn't mean I'm gonna tell them, no, you are a sin, you are not doing hatha yoga, you're not doing vinyasa. They the way they understand is intellectual because they're very active on the buddhi, the month, on their mind. They're very active, and that's how they understand. And some people they surrender so easily, like even in a man, they're so touched with their feminine. They doesn't have to go through. They can stretch their devotion, totally surrender, and still they can have this experience, this pleasure, this bliss within themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, I like what you said. I really like what you said, and I think that's going to be really powerful for everyone listening. Is it's a journey exploring your strengths and weaknesses, which is really, really powerful because we're only trying to get stronger, but actually we're going to be met with so many weaknesses, and that's the journey. And yeah, learning to love yourself regardless, right? And that's the power. Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm moving on to the next topic, which is you touched on it a little bit about self care. The seven things that you mentioned on injuries and things like that. What do you think is your top five when it comes to maintaining intensity? Then can you just repeat what you said before? So top five: warm up. Can you?
To retaining the intensity or
Yes,
the strength.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Keep working
Uh,
with intensity.
warm up, warm up. Breaking your belief system to welcoming to other practice. Breaking your belief system. And the third is recovery has to be done very well. Recovery. You
Yeah,
can add other points, whatever they can do recovery. And the fourth point is the good rest, very, very good rest, and not overdoing the practice. Very important. What happens? Some people, for example, I practice nowadays for last 2 months. I think I can stand less. I supposed to practice 4 5 hours, and I practice 4 5 hours in morning and evening. But still, I didn't have it. So I'm not going through this pain. Why? What people they do? One, they practice, they stretch themselves, stretch over the limit, and then they have a soul. And that requires 2 3 days for recovery. So what they can do it, try not to stretch themselves 100%, 40% warm up and 50% stretch. So what will happen? They can practice next day, and it means they can practice 6 times in a day instead of they practice 3 times in a week. Make sense? So try not to stretch yourself. Try not to go limit yourself. Yes, you can limit yourself once, twice a week, but rest of this, take it easy. Don't stretch too much. Otherwise, it will take 2 3 days to recover. So try not to do so intensity practice. Take it easy. Find a balance. Yes. And the fourth, how many have done? Four or three? Four or three?
three.
The fourth one is um what I do to maintain. Yes, pranayama, pranayama. I can't hear you, Priya. I can't hear you. I
Okay.
can't hear you.
Warm up,
I,
belief
I can hear.
systems, warm ups, belief systems, recovery, pranayama, or do
Or
some deep
connect.
breathing.
Yeah, connecting with the breath. If there's no breath in your practice, you end up with the injuries or end up with the frustration, end up with the judging yourself. And once you connect with your breath, it's a game changer. It's a totally game. This is the difference between the sports and the yoga. That's I want to highlight myself again. This is the difference between the sport and the yoga. Once you involve your breath, oh my god, you can stretch yourself no matter what you're doing. Trust me. When I held it plank first time after 30 minutes, my body, my emotions, my mind was giving up. I said, giving up. So I just took an inhale, closed my eyes, and hold my breath. And I exhaled and I said, I can do it. Like, I just calm my breath. Even when I was stuck in the Himalaya, I thought I will die here because I couldn't find my path, and there was a 1 feet snow, and I was really was giving up. I closed my eyes and I calmed my breath, and this was completely. So what happened in any practice? Thoughts always involving, always. You know, when people they say I can rid of my thoughts, it's completely wrong. Thoughts will be always involving. So breath is reason to separate your mind and thoughts. And then there's the beauty of surrender to relaxation. And then you can intensely practice no matter what you're doing, you're running, your body movement, your yoga. Once you bring your breath, it's a completely game change. Completely. So you can practice pranayama to focus
No.
or expand or control. Yeah. What you said, Priya? I can't hear you. Voice is breaking. Okay, yes.
Now, now I'm back. Yes. So yes, and then the fifth one, if you had one, was that diet?
Fifth, oh, I think diet I will put in number one.
Yeah.
Diet, I'm very strict. I do cheat meal one twice in a week. I'm not saying I don't eat sugar. I eat 1 or 2 days, but rest of days I'm very strict. Very strict. It's very broad topic, diet. I don't want to go deep into that. But diet is the game changer again. Rid of your toxin, looking after your liver, digestive part, which is very important, your gut, which is responsible for digesting your food. Yes, if you can't digest food, you're always feeling floating, always feel uncomfortable feeling, not feeling relaxed in the practice, you know. Once you really clean your belly clean, you feel so light. So also nourishing your mind, body, you know, the prana diet is amazing game changer. So make sure you invest. So it doesn't have to be a nutrition. I'm not a nutrition, but I do have little knowledge to look after my food, and I know what I'm putting in my belly and how I'm feeling next morning. So that's very important. And one more thing, don't eat dinner after 7 p.m. Please. Don't eat dinner after 7 p.m. It's very important. Yeah. It's a different topic of diet. Maybe we can cover next time. But yeah, diet, yeah.
No, that's good. Yeah. So I guess, it's just, I'm a big believer of, getting one-on-one consultations for what you need to know, what you need coaching on. So I coach people with Ayurvedic diets and things like that, but myself included, I don't leave it to myself. I go and seek the help from others, um, to guide me, because as they say, that even the therapist needs a therapist. So it's that's the world, that we are living in. We need to be able to uh, work with others that have professional views on, or the knowledge and the wisdom, like you said, being able to uh, teach yoga means you have practiced it, you made the effort yourself to understand what effort it takes, what kind of awareness someone is capable of creating in their body and mind. So, yeah, that's good tips. Um, so, you're in India right now, and is it in lockdown?
Yeah, it's lockdown in India at the moment.
Yeah, right. What are the hours?
It's from uh, 6 to 9, I think, in the morning till
Yeah.
9 p.m. So they stretch bit out. Before it was like uh, mm, 6 to 12. So they stretch bit because now their cases dropping down. So the condition is a little bit getting better in India. So a little bit stretch and just a little bit take it easy. So now you can see people on the road, shops are open a bit late. So it's getting better from the previous days. Yeah.
Cool. So, just a few last questions. I wanted to ask you, what are a few things that keep you inspired?
Uh, wow, there's so many answers of this. It's a long journey. What keeps me inspired? The hunger to grow, not just to grow, keep supporting my grow every day because the tree can be grow, tall. But if he, the tree root is not supported, it will fall down. So it not matter you growing. You have to support your growth every day. You have to nourish your sport. Some people they have this misunderstanding. No, I just want to grow. I just want to grow. No, bro, you have to support your root. You have to support your growth. Every day with different nourishment. I think there are so many answers of this inspire me so many things. But the main thing is I'm so hungry. But every time I achieve something, I thought, wow, what is more to come? What is more there, within me? How how much I can stretch myself? So this hunger every day, thinking all the time, thinking, okay, what can I do practice? What can I eat? Okay, what kind of study I can do? Okay, if I put this, I can do. So every time I'm thinking to uh, leaving my comfort zone, And the second is um, once physical practice, pranayama, everything is great, it's amazing. But when you sit in meditation, and I practice vipassana meditation, and once you observe and once you become a witness, it's a different experience. You detach yourself from yourself, and then you think, who I am, who am I am. So this question sometimes is disturb me. Who am I? Sometimes when I go through emotions, when I ask this question, it keep reminding me to keep walking. No matter how much I have done, no matter how great thing I'm done, but still I'm nothing. So every day I'm telling myself, you are nothing, Tanu. You are nothing. And I try to compete, not compete, to go and connect with people who are above me or who equal to me, who can kick my ass. Because lower, they can't kick my ass. Only I am the only one I'm kicking their ass in practice. But once they kick my ass, it hit not ego, but it pushed me. Okay, if he can do, why I can't do it? I can do it. Let's do it. For example, yesterday, last week I ran half marathon, 21 kilometer, and there's a guy I met. He's a national gold medalist. He's a boxer, and the day before we run every week. I was running 12 kilometer, and I observed I'm mentally a little bit down. I'm a bit not strong, and I stopped. He said, bro, come on. And I said, no, I don't feel it. He said, no, come on, you can do it. And I ran. And second time I felt like, oh, I should stop, and I again stopped, and he was full power. So he keep pushing myself, and that was a game changer for me. And that's why I like this kid, I like this guy, because I know that he can give me a best challenge, he can push me. So that inspired me to connect with people who can push me uh, beyond my limits. I love it. The same thing, I push people, so that inspired me. And there's so many small things, but this is the few major things, yeah, which I just explained. Yeah.
Wow, so good. That's really nice to hear. Um, yeah, I mean, yeah, that's really cool because you're reflecting and you're connecting. That's definitely really good tips there for everyone that's listening. They say that the same mind that creates the problem is not the mind that's going to be able to fix it. So, we definitely have to always stay hungry, and we also have to reach out to people that are better than us in some capacity, that are going to help us get out, and go beyond what we think is possible. So really good, really good. You're headed for success. You're already successful in so many ways. Um, yeah. So, what do you think? How am I doing with my handstand journey? Do you think I'm headed for success? Am I a good
Now,
student? I'm
one
putting
thing,
you on the spot.
now one thing I love about you that you are well grounded and you well balanced, and that help you a lot to achieve 15-second holding in handstand. And you work a lot on your, I don't know much about your background, but seems like you have learned a lot from your practice, and you come to this idea that how much is important in your life be grounded not on your mat but out of the mat when the things hit you hard, life hit you hard in a real life, you know. And I was very surprised that you people that take 1 year. Trust me, I have offered 11th online batch 15 days in last 1 year. People they wait for a year. Trust me, I'm talking about yoga teachers who waited for 1 year. Why? The wrong practice, not great, not teacher, no professional teacher. I will not say wrong. No professional teacher in specific field, and they waited for 1 year, but they practice for 2 months. They achieve. So you're doing amazing. You surprise me every time. Whenever we go through chat, we share things, and it's not you stayed in handstand for 50 seconds. That if you notice when you go in handstand and stay for a few seconds, you look at me. I said, no, don't worry, just keep going. Don't be happy. I don't motivate you because once you motivate, oh, I did it. No, 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 it's long journey. Don't worry. There's so much to explore. Just take it easy. So you know this connection with yourself, when to push, when to relax as a teacher, as a student of life. So you have this maturity, when to push, when to relax, when to have a break. So that's I love about you.
Put
This
my mom on the
connection.
phone. I mean, I should put my mom on the phone. Mom, I've hit maturity. they'd be they'd be very happy to hear this.
Don't worry. I don't call myself mature. I want to be like a kid. I want to be like, like not a perfect civilization. I want to be like, be a kid and people that think he's crazy. Leave me alone. I'm a crazy. Don't worry. Be your, none of your business. So it's good. Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
thank you. Yes, no, I mean, yeah, I feel like, uh, yeah, I feel like, stability is really important. And it's one of the sutras of yoga too, stability and comfort, so must develop that everywhere we are, especially with all the stuff that goes on around us in the world and even anywhere really, and the thing is, the journey of transformation is not for the faint hearted. So, for the ones that are just starting off, many challenges will come, and the first place you'll get hit is at your root, which is, where the tree will wobble if it's not grounded. So we've really got to work on what Tanu said, the stability first. And then from there, wherever it goes, it goes, it doesn't go, it doesn't go. At least you're grounded and you know who you are at every point in time, so that's really important. Uh, Now, a spiritual question, Guruji.
Don't call me Guruji, please. I don't know why everyone start calling me Guruji in the morning. I don't know why. I said you can call me Tanu. It's okay. If
Should
someone
I call
calling
you
me Guruji,
Pandit
I
Sharma? Should I call you Pandit Sharma?
do whatever you wanna call. Priya.
Can't stop Supriya. um, well, the thing is, I wanted to ask you, and this is a question that just came to me, and I really am curious. So, reflecting on your journey as a student and as a teacher, who do you think chooses? Like, do you think the student chooses their teacher, or does the teacher choose the student? You know
It's
what I'm
very.
saying?
I thought about it, but I couldn't get the answer. It's very. I'm being honest because I didn't have so many gurus and so many teachers. I just had a one teacher, Bharat Shetty, from Mysore, beautiful, amazing teacher who is responsible for making me grounded and teaching me how to balance in life and the purpose. I'm really thankful and grateful for his teaching and his presence and his gift. Um, it's very typical and question because who decides is teacher ready or the student ready? I don't know. I can't say final answer. I'm still exploring. I'm still reflecting on this question, and I didn't come with any answer. So once I will come with the answer, I will share with you. But at the moment, I don't know.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and saying, I don't know. Yeah, and it's a bit, I would love to ask this question to anyone that comes on my podcast series. I'm going to ask them because on the journey of personal transformation, I think you're going to meet a lot of people, like you're going to meet a lot of people that you ask for help from. And, and I just wonder, like,
But
yeah,
when
like,
you ask, but when you ask coach and teacher and guru, from my experience, now, okay, because why I don't know, because I don't seek for a guru, like someone will give me lighter or something. For me now, guru is like the day before the wind was happening, raining was happening. It was like so big wind, so. So I just stood and watched the wind and look at the thunderbolt and observe the raining. It taught me something, like no matter how life is crucial, you can stand and be grounded and let it they hit you. What to lose? So they taught me something which maybe someone can't teach me. Or some kids, they surprise me a lot through their action, through their, and the compassion, through their behavior. It taught me so much. So yeah, I don't just seek for individual guru. I think the nature is becoming a guru for me. Everything is teaching me something. I think when you open yourself, the guru appears from myself. Once you close, nobody can help you. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yes, that's beautiful. I think that's a really nice way to end this episode. Really love talking to you. And I would love to organize a future interview again, a chat, about other topics like drills and technique and, other topics related to developing through yoga, fitness, this journey of transformation, all the little topics like, what we did to transform from one point to the next, etc. So I'll let you know what those topics will be, and we can have another meeting. What do you think?
I'm in. Yalla, yalla, bring it on.
That's awesome. Thank you so much for your time and
Thank
careful attention. Yes.
thank you for having me, Priya. An amazing chat with you. Thank
Well,
you.
I'll see you tomorrow in my handstand session.
Definitely, without
Yeah.
any excuse. Yes.
Bye, guys.